Dengar, suara kau dengar. Suara kau dengar. Kau sini dengar. Okay, Azri kau dengar suara aku tadi? Okay, right. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Political Insights, 40 minutes of political knowledge. So today, what we know right now is the IRKHSS election period. So what is better to have than the main board of the IRKHSS itself? So with me today is Brother Iman Zikry, which is the current vice president of IRKHSS. Brother Iman Zikry, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. All right, so we're going to talk about what is actually IRKHSS to begin with. So being so, let's go right into the first question. So, Brother Iman, I would like to ask, what is actually the role of IRKHSS?
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me. So to answer your question, what is the role of IRKHSSS? So I think the role is just the same as the other student society, which is to serve the students, and also to be the middleman between the students and also the kuliah management. So the rule, I think, is it's not a simple rule. Obviously, you are being in the kuliah's level of student society. At IUM, I think we know the differences between department level and kuliah level. So, the kuliah level society is, as I said just now, is to serve the students and also do anything that is the best for the students. For instance, I could say you organize a very good program which is very beneficial to the students. Or the way I can explain, because if you want to explain about it, it takes a very long time. What is the rule, yada yada yada. But I think the probably what I could say, the simple rule of IRKHS is aligned with what the kuliah wants, which is the intellectual part of the students, the social part of the students, and also the educational part of the students. So if those three are the main things that IRKHSS need to take into account, and they need to make sure that all those three aspects is being given and to the students.
So, is there actually a difference between IRKHSSS and also the student-based societies, the department-based societies? Because at times people feel that they're quite similar, or maybe they're just a different club. Is there actually a difference in how they operate and also utilize their power?
Okay, so of course there are differences between the department-based society and also the kuliah-based society. Kuliah-based society is much more bigger than the department-based society. I would say our department, if I wasn't mistaken, our kuliah have the most department in IUM. We have 10 department, so meaning that we have 10 secretariat. Secretariat is the society, the student society of the department-based society. So the department-based society is under the kuliah-based society. So IRKHSSS, I would say, is the father for all those 10 other secretariats, and the rule is just the same. It's just the scope that they need to cover. The department, they just need to cover their own department students at their own respective department. For kuliah level, they need to focus for the whole 10 secretariats, and for our kuliah, if I wasn't mistaken, we have around 3 to 4,000 students. So that is the amount that the IRKHSSS need to cover.
All right. So deriving from that, apologies for saying just now I just said president, but being the vice president, I would like to ask also, how was the experience actually being in the main board? Maybe what did you do? Was your job? Like, what is the day of Iman Zikry of vice president of IRKHSSS?
Um, the role, I mean, of course, each and every one of us in the main boards are given different roles. So I have my own role, differ with my other colleagues. My experience in the main boards is, I would say, very beneficial for me. Very open-minded experience, I would say, because I learned so many things. I experienced so many things. So the experience was very, very well. I would probably, if I can promote to other students, if you have the spirit to help the students, you have the vision that you want to do to the kuliah, to the students of kuliah, you want to serve the students, please join IRKHSSS, because this is where the platform, this is the platform where you can expose yourself, you can, it's not really expose yourself, where you can show yourself, where you can give your ideas to the students, so that the students will respond to your ideas. And the experience that I had is very good, very beneficial, and I encourage every other students to be part of it as well.
So I picked the point from your answers in relation to what is your role as the vice president of IRKHSSS currently. So I would like to also ask, were there any challenges to begin with within being a vice president of IRKHSSS? Maybe dealing with the students or dealing with the administration, or what are actually the challenges? Because we've already known what is your role. So
yeah, of course there are challenges, and the challenges you have already been answered it. Of course, the challenges how to deal with students and how to deal with the administration, because that are the two entities, or there are the two parties that we have to deal with. IRKHSSS is the middleman between the student and the kuliah. So we need to deal with the students, and we need to deal with the kuliah. We need to deal with the kuliah administration. So there are some times where what the kuliah wants to do is not aligned with what the students want. So that is the challenges that you need to face. You need to go straight to the office, discuss with the deputy dean, discuss with the administration. How can we settle this? How can And if you ask me personally, every time those kind of things happen, if those problems happen, I try to find a win-win situation. I mean, student will get their part, and the kuliah will get their part. So those are basically the main challenges that you will be facing. Of course, you will have internal problems among your own colleagues. You will have miscommunication. We have disagreement, and I think the most important thing is how we overcome all those challenges that we face. Because I'm not I think if you be honest, it's not just in IRKHSS, in every society that you went, every society that you join, department-based level, other societies, you will have your own challenges. And I think we can talk about the challenges all day long, but I don't see how that can give us something. So I think the most important thing is how we overcome those challenges. And I think there are some parts, there are few issues that we can overcome it perfectly, I would say. There are some issues that we can't, because of those challenges itself, because of the parties that we've been dealing with.
Understand. So we've talked about the good and also the bad. I would like to also maybe extend the question even more. Maybe you can give one instance of the good and the bad also. Maybe an example, a certain event, probably a certain scenario. Maybe we can all know about. If yeah.
I think one, if I can give you, I think this one is an open secret lah. At first, we are planning, during my internship, we do plan to have a very big event, which is, I believe it will be a very beneficial program to the students. Not only the students in our kuliah, but also the students around IIUM. So we're planning to have a very big event. But unfortunately, I would say we didn't have much time to, I would say, try to save the program because of few issues, few internal issues, few external issues. So yeah, at the end of the day, we cannot have that program. I think you guys see with your own eyes that we didn't have a very big program, as I said, that we want to have it, but we can't have because of those problems that we face. I mean, obviously, I cannot tell the problem what the problem is
Understandable.
due to internal issues.
Yeah.
So, and also I need to save myself. If I talk here, then I'll be dead after this. So that's why, we have our own plan, but we cannot do it due to few reasons, and the way we deal it. This one I would say is not that perfect, but we handle it. I would say at the mid level, Yeah.
Understandable. Thank you for sharing with us a little bit of what is actually happening within the main board itself. Talking about the main board to begin with too, we have also, if I'm not mistaken, we have, please correct me if I'm wrong, we have Vice President 1 and Vice President 2.
Yep.
And we also have the President. So maybe you can explain to us, to the viewers, what do the President and Vice Presidents actually do together? Or why do we need two Vice Presidents? Or maybe not, why not just one? And how do you actually utilize the collaboration that you have between the Vice President and also Presidents?
Okay. Why do we need to have two presidents? The easiest answer I can give you is just because it was written in the Constitution. So that's why we need to have two vice presidents. But the different, I mean, the president have their own role. The president have he or she have their own role, which is to look after everything that happened, including the department level, the kuliah level. So he or she needs to have a very good vice to help him or her. So the differences between the Vice President 1 and Vice President 2, their role is, to make it simple, the Vice President will handle the external or the internal issues, and the Vice President will handle the external issues. So internal issues in regards to the council in IRKHSS, the problems that they have internally, probably problems that happen within the department-based society, which are related to other department-based society as well. So that is the role that IRKHSS need to play with. And the external factors, in the sense that we need to collaborate, we need to communicate with other parties. So that is how we differentiate those roles.
And okay, another question, which is in relation to yourself as a Vice President. How would you actually rate your tenureship, or maybe the role that you've played within IRKHSSS main board?
This question is quite personal, I would say. How to rate myself, considering that I've been in this position is not that the period I've been in this situation is this position is not that long. I've just been half of this tenureship. So I think instead of me rating myself, I think I would rate the whole tenureship. I think my tenureship currently, which is for me, we've done our best. We've done our best. It may, of course, there are some things that we could have done better, but we've done our best. I think let's put it that way.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And probably to close it out, maybe you can also give your heart out in answering this question. Maybe towards the future main boards of IRKHSSS. What are your hopes? What are your maybe aspirations to see? What will the future main board of IRKHSS behave themselves, and also how will they achieve such goals that you just mentioned?
My hope is that I hope that this tenureship is going to do better than us. They have the potential. I hope that they have a very good vision on what they are going to do, and because vision is very important. If you don't have the vision of what you want to do, it's hard for you to succeed in your tenureship. So my hope is that they have their own vision, they have their own plans, and I hope that they plan well and plan better for the students, because it goes back to the first question that you asked, what is the role of IRKHSS? I said it, and I think I said it very clearly, which is to serve the students, and I hope they serve the students well, because the student deserve a very good leadership from them.
All right. So before we end the session with you, Brother Iman, I would like to ask, is there anything that you would like to share to the viewers, and also to the IRKHSS students, and also the future main board, or the candidates of IRKHSS main board, to the live session right now?
For the IRKHSSS candidates, future leaders, good luck. Good luck to you. I hope you will do your job very good. I hope all the best. And to all students, I would say, if you have the vision, you have the spirit to help the students, to serve the students, please join them. They need a very good team, and they need you to participate and to help them to serve the student. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, everyone. Here you have it, Brother Iman, the Vice President of IRKHSSS. Thank you so much, Brother Iman, for being here.
Thank you.
And basically, it's always a joy seeing you and being here.
It's always a joy to be here as well, to come back here.
All right. So basically, it is Brother Iman, everyone. Basically, and we're trying to go to the next session. But we're not ending it yet. We're going to go into a very short commercial break before everything. We go into the election results. So do not go anywhere. Take a break. And at the same time, you can also do whatever you want before we go to the next session. All right. We'll see you in a little bit and also in a few minutes. See you again. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So Alhamdulillah, after nearly 1 month since the notice of election, today we have reached the final stage of AHAS KIRKHS Students Election 2023. So today we will be introduced to the new leaders of IRKHSSS as well as the new chairpersons of each secretariats. So I am Muhammad Hakim bin Abdul Malik, the chairperson for Election Commission, AHAS KIRKHS Students Election Commission 2023, and I welcome all of you to the unofficial election results announcement. So now let's look at the percentage of voters turnout. So for this year's polling day, I believe that our voters turnout is quite satisfying. We can look at the first secretariat, which is from psychology. The percentage of voters turnout is 80.5%. And then from the Bachelor of Arabic, we have 63.8%. From Benel, we have 54.3%. From History, 73.9%. From Political Science, 74.9%. From Communication, 54.1%. From Sociology and Anthropology, 72.3%. From Bahim, 60.3%. From IRKHS, which is Quran Sunnah, is 67.9%. And for IRKHUD, Usuluddin, 64.7%, which gives us a total of 64.98%. And the total of the voters is 2,381, which is 9 people off from last year. So that is for the percentage. Now let's look at the raw data or raw numbers, which is the voters turnout by each department. So for Bachelor of Arabic, we have 259 people voted today. From Benel, 310 people. From Communication, 178. From History, 136 people. From Political Science, 233 students. From Psychology, 269. From Sociology and Anthropology, 188. From Bahim, 338, which is the most out of all departments. From Quran Sunnah, 256. And lastly, from IRKHUD, 214. So that is the amount, which gives us a total of 2,381. So for the turnout analysis, this is like the summary. So all of the UG students, undergraduate students of AHAS KIRKHS, the total of them are 3,664, where for this year's polling day, which was conducted from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. just now, the total of voters that have voted are 2,381. And we also have 75 void votings, mainly because due to the absence of their names in the name list, and which makes us a total of 64.98%. Right. So let's look at the next agenda, which is the candidates that won uncontested. So for this one, it's which is the candidates that have represented their own secretariats, and they have won without needing to be voted just now. So inshallah, our new secretary for IRKHSSS is Sister Nur Inshirah Baiti binti Haizir. The treasurer for IRKHSSS is Sister Nur Fatin Najwa binti Muhammad Nur. And our secretariat, our chairperson of secretariat from ALA which is Brother Fathul Fansuri bin Muhammad Isa. Our chairperson for Secretariat of Elites is Sister Nur Shahira binti Khaidir. And then next, we also have the Secretariat of his Forum, which is Brother Atif Husama bin Husaybi. From Qussa, Brother Adlan Shahmi bin Azhan. From Utsi, which is Sister Izzah Hazwani binti Muhammad Zaki. And from Posa, Sister Fairuz Hanani binti Rosazam. Now let's move on to the secretariats that won contested, which is the results for today's polling day. We appreciate all of you who have contributed to all the votes. Now, this is for Psych-TAS seat. So, the winner for the Psych-TAS chairperson seat, congratulations to Sister Amani Husaini binti Zulkifli with the amount of 65.3%, while our brother from candidate 01, which is Brother Muhammad Alif Haikal bin Muhammad, with the vote of 34.7%. And next, for Sophie's chairperson seat, we have 3 people, and the winner is Brother Muhammad Farhan bin Luqman, candidate 02, with a number of 66.1% of votes. And coming second was Sister Nurul Aufa binti Muhammad Khairi, which was the candidate 01, with the amount of 20.9% of votes. And candidate 03, Brother Iman Shahim bin Ibrahim, with the total number of 13% votes. So that is all for the secretariats. We only have 2 secretariats that contested for this year's election. Now let's look at the presidential seat. So the person that is going to be the president for next tenure's IRKHSS Student Society, congratulations, and we pray good luck for you to Brother Candidate 02, Brother Nick Muhammad Badrain bin Zamri, with the number of votes 64.5%, whereas Candidate 01, Brother Adham Kafilan bin Ahmad Kamil, with a number of votes of 35.5%. Alright, so that is all for this year's IRKHSSS presidential seat, as well as the secretariat seats. So that concludes the AHAS KIRKHS Students Election 2023. And we would like to congratulate all of the candidates who have participated in this year's election, whether they won or whether they did not win. We would also like to thank all parties involved in the preparation from day 1 until today. So for example, the management of AHAS KIRKHS, our advisor, the election commission, election working committees, current IRKHSSS memboards, council of chairpersons, media partners, and of course all of AHAS KIRKHS undergraduate students who have participated and used your power to vote for your next leaders. So this election would not be a success if not for all of our participations. And lastly, just a reminder, inshallah, we will open for objection period, which will last until 11:59 p.m. today. And those who would like to make any objection can write to the election commission and state the reason of the objection from 10 p.m. until 11:59 p.m. And that is all from me. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, welcome back to Political Insights, 40 minutes of political knowledge. So, we've already heard what happened in the first session, and we also heard about the election results. Congratulations to all the candidates that have won, and also to the ones that participated, basically. So, for this session, we would like to actually talk about the election and the election result. So, we have here with me is Sister Aisha. Which Azarisman, which is the vice chairman of the election commission for 2023 and 2024. Hello, Sister Aisha. How are you?
Hi, Alhamdulillah. I'm doing very good today.
Oh yeah, we're happy that you're doing good also. All right.
Thank you.
So yeah, so let's talk about the election results itself. All right. At the same time, we're also going to talk about the election commission itself. So, I would like to also ask, in relation to the election, can you probably share with us about the procedure of the election from your perspective as a person that within the working body of EC? And are there any regulations in the election that people should follow?
All right. So thank you so much, Brother Arif, right? Okay, for the questions. Talking about the procedure of our election, I'm not sure if there's any like specific procedure that you want me to talk about, but I would like brief you through the timeline at least, just to familiarize for you guys, especially for those who missed it probably. If you guys were unaware, on the official Instagram page of IRKHS Student Society, we posted the election timeline and also everything that you would need to know about the elections this time around. So basically, as usual, previously, before the mid-sem break, we had the notice of election, which was conducted online through the IRKHSSS official YouTube channel. And a week after that, we had the nomination period, which was from 26th to 29th of November, which was during the mid-semester break. So during this period, the candidates or future potential candidates would nominate themselves through a Google form and through email as well. And after that, on the 1st of December, which is nomination day, we announced the nominated candidates for this election. So basically, they're officially a candidate now. And on 4th of December, when mid-semester break has finished and students are back on campus, that's when campaigning period for the candidates officially begin. So candidates would have approximately about 2 weeks to campaign and promote themselves as much and as best they can throughout these 2 weeks. So like vote for me and all those kind of things, right? As you guys have probably witnessed throughout these 2 weeks. And on the 7th of December, we had a speaker's corner for the candidates who won uncontested. So like Brother Hakim mentioned before, the candidates who were the only candidates contesting for the seats being contested for. And on let's see, the 20th, sorry, my mistake. On 12th of December, we had the secretariat debates. In this time around, we had debates between Sophie and also Psychstar, because they were the only two societies that had competition. So Psychstar had 2 candidates and Sophie had 3 candidates this time around. And on the 13th of December, which was yesterday night, we had the presidential debate. And as I'm sure all of you are well aware, that earlier today we had polling day, or aka voting day. So I guess that would be all for the procedure or the flow of this year's election. And in terms of rules and regulations that the general public would have to follow, we don't have any specific rules that the general public would have to abide by throughout this election period, but we do have rules and regulations that the candidates and their campaigning team would have to follow throughout their campaigning period, which was 2 weeks, right? So basically, the candidates and their campaigning team are advised to not use any inappropriate or harsh language towards any other candidates during their campaigning period, and they're not allowed to directly or indirectly attack or you would say attack other candidates during the campaigning period. So if say anybody reports to us that, for example, you're contesting for president and I'm also contesting for president, right? So suddenly one of your campaigning team mocks me on the internet or posts a status saying, what in the world is she saying? She's so stupid, something like that. So somebody would have to screenshot that and report to us. And so our tribunals would investigate the situation and would take action accordingly. So those are basically the only rules and regulations that the candidates would have to follow. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the answer. It's very holistic and also covers almost everything about the election and the proceeding. Basically, thank you so much. Basically, if it was a questioning exam, it's probably get full marks.
Oh,
Right.
alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So basically, in terms of, it's still regarding the election and mostly regarding the voting itself, I would like to also extend the question on how did the actual voting process go? Were there any problems encountered, or probably what are the problems that you may encounter?
Thank you so much for the question. In terms of voting, this time around, our voting was held online. So online meaning that students would have to submit their votes through a Google form. And for our election this year, our Google form format, our election format is exactly the same as last year's election. So basically, the Google form that we use is exactly the same, so nothing is much different. However, we did face minor technical issues during the first hour of the voting period, which was from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And this technical issue was because we used the same Google form, there was a mistake in terms of which secretariat had candidates contesting. So last year's election, they had psychology and also English language and literatures for who were contesting for the elections. But this time around we had Sophie and PsychStar, which is Sophie and psychology students. So that was the mistake made in the Google form, in which it was still the English language and literature society that had candidates. So the Sophie candidates popped up in the panel students selection. So that was the mistake that we encountered. And alhamdulillah, we actually detected the mistake pretty quickly, because there were people who literally voted at 8 a.m. I'm sorry guys, I cannot relate to you guys. Your day starts so early. So proud of you, and thank you for voting as well. But yeah, those who voted early, so we got the report at like 8:15, something like that. Some person had reached out to us and informed us about this minor mistake in the Google form. So we fixed it, and we catered to the problem very quickly, and alhamdulillah, didn't damage much of the results. So yeah.
Understandable. I guess it's quite a good basically disaster management, I would say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. At the same time, also, there were a lot of questions regarding the election, the difference between IRKHSSS and also the key KNMS, basically the economic kuliah. So there was a difference that it was suggested that why did the economics kuliah get to put their finger inside of the ink? So why didn't IRKHSS get to do that too? So what was that all about, basically?
Okay, I bet you guys are wondering why we didn't hold like a physical voting day. Don't worry, I am as disappointed as you guys. Not disappointed lah, maybe a bit bummed about it. It's actually more fun if we have the voting process physically, where you get to, dip your finger in the ink, or in KNMS they dipped it in syrup cordial, right? I don't know how that would go, but yeah, we actually would have loved to do that as well, but unfortunately we faced a few problems in terms of our proposal being approved by the kuliah, and because of it being approved so late, I'm being very transparent with you guys, so you guys should thank me later, but because in terms of our proposal being approved so late, so we couldn't realize that dream of ours to make the voting process physical. But inshallah, for next tenure it will be physical, so look forward to that.
Inshallah. So basically, in relation to, again, about the voting and stuff, and also the election, about the voters, what do you think about the voter turnouts? Was it better than the last election, or personally, what do you think about it? Could it be more better? Or yeah.
Okay, so in terms of the voter turnout, right? If we compare it to the previous tenure had 69.7% of voter turnouts, and as for our tenure, for this year's election we had 64.98. Right, so 64.98% of voter turnouts, and I feel like it's a little disappointing, the fact that we decreased by 4.7%. It's a little sad, but actually I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, especially considering the facts and the factors that actually, how to say, considering the trials and tribulations that we face throughout the whole process of actualizing this final result, which is the polling day, I think we did pretty good, especially in terms of advocating for, I think everyone within the EC, Election Commission, and also Election Working Commission are very passionate about students voting and, you know, voting for who they think is most eligible, right? So I feel like in terms of that, I'm actually very proud because also actually, one comparison, I'm a political science student, if for those of you don't know. And last year, political science students were actually the lowest voter turnout at first, but this year, we were not. We were the highest, one of the highest, I think. Highest or second highest, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that I'm actually proud with that. But in terms of comparing to last year, it's okay. People have ups and downs, right? But alhamdulillah, I'm happy for how it turned out this year.
Right. Shout out to all political science students for not being the last in voter turnouts, similar to last election. So I want to go maybe a bit more deeper about the election because we understand that the EC is quite a neutral body in terms of the election. So, and it's understood there's a lot of political fronts in IUM too. So how does this actually affect the election or the voters itself?
So that's actually a very interesting question, I would say. So this is my personal opinion. How would the political student fronts affect the election, right? So basically, students, they have two choices, I would say. They can contest independently or they can contest under the capacity of these student fronts, right? So it actually it benefits the candidate when they contest under a student political front because then they would have the budget, they would have the manpower and everything to help them post about their campaigns, to help them put up posters and everything. And I feel like it actually they're on the winning team if you have a team behind you, right? In candidates who contest individually, like independently, without a political front behind them, is actually very, very good actually. And I feel like there are people who have won with who have contested independently but who have won. I feel like, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I feel like there have been, whether it's in campus politics or outside politics, right? But I feel the way it affects the election is it just helps in terms of boosting the publicity for the candidate. And how it affects the election is because the amount of supporters one political front can have is so unpredictable, right? And one can have so many. So you're basically a candidate contesting under the capacity of a student political front would have guaranteed voters because you have voters from the political front itself. So yeah, I think that's how it affects the election.
All right, one extension from that question beforehand, just a short question. Do you think political fronts affected the election currently, this election?
This election, okay. I think he's trying to get the tea from you guys, I swear to God. But yeah, I feel like definitely, actually, to be very frank and honest, every election, there's always a political front. There's always going to be candidates contesting under the capacity of, under the support of political fronts, right? And it's going to happen for every election. And for this election, this time around, there has been a comeback, I would say, from a certain political front. And I would say that it's kind of a soft launch for them since the previous election, for the IIUM-SU election before this, they didn't send in any candidates from my knowledge. So like, looking at this, I would say they have impacted the elections very much because their supporters are very, I would say, powerful and amazing because they have a lot of supporters. And I feel, yeah, I think that's all I have for them.
All right.
No comment.
All right. Thank you so much for the answer. Very frank answer too. I appreciate it very much. So I believe the viewers would do the same. Basically, one last question before we end the session, sister. What do you hope for the future of IRKHSSS and also for the future lineup currently?
What I would hope for IRKHSSS future lineup. I think it has been emphasized by so many others before me, and whether or not they were in the IRKHS Student Society lineup or not. But so many people hope for the lineup and the leaders who are leading IRKHS Student Society to be confident, to be firm, to be competent in order to push through and fight for student initiatives, because I feel like we have faced a few problems in terms of, based on my own experience and observation, I would say. We have faced problems in terms of getting the kuliah to approve and pass student-initiated programs, or like new programs that the students have come up with. And I feel like that shouldn't be a problem, especially if it contributes to strengthening and empowering students, and also strengthening the bond between students as well, especially in the spirit of IRKHS themselves, right? So I feel like this shouldn't have been a problem in the first place, and I feel that is my hope for IRKHS new lineup, is for them to be strong, for them to be competent, firm and confident in pushing through for the student initiatives to help shape a more student empowering society and community.
Understandable. All right, everyone, that is Sister Aisha. Thank you so much for coming here. It's been a big privilege to actually get first-hand tidbits also, especially not really tidbits, it's basically a whole meal basically for the answers. We appreciate it very much. And before we close out this episode, we would like to also remind everyone to follow IIUM TV in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram, and the most favorite social media platform for everyone, which is TikTok. So yeah, basically, I am Arifuddin, your host for today. This is probably the last episode for Political Insights, and also for me too. I would also like to thank everyone for watching, and thank you everyone also for my team back there too. All right, everyone, thank you. We'll see you again next season. Assalamualaikum, and have a very good night. See you next time, probably or probably not. Bye-bye.